question.
Actually, it's not a question, but I'm not from Conway. I'm not with this Tea Party. I live in Russellville, Faulkner County. I'm on Faulkner County Tea Party. And yes, you have us. And I'll see about getting you a speaking engagement really quick.
I'd love to. I'd love to. Thank you very much. I show art in Russellville, so their downtown is a great new art venue.
Yeah, I think the real issue to me is
Hey, Tim. Yes.
yeah, the real issue to me is that the bottom line, the longer they're up there, the more they become watered down on their beliefs, less constituent representatives, and more lobbyist representative or buddy-buddy system. And that's the real issue. You know, I've watched legislators that I worked very hard put into office, and I'm furious with them on their vote and what's happened to them. They need to go out like Taco Bell. You know, get in, get out. And they don't seem to understand that. But that's the bottom line to me with term limits and why I'm so passionate for them.
Well, I think you're exactly right. And one of the things that it's just natural, your life and you're influenced by the people that are around you. And if you're sitting in a barber shop in Searcy, Arkansas, and going to church in Searcy, Arkansas, and hanging out in Searcy, Arkansas, you're going to be representing the people like they feel in Searcy, Arkansas. But if you're down at the Capitol all the time, and lobbyists are talking to you, and you've made a great speech, and you're the best, and all you talk about is lobbyists, and we've all been down to the Capitol, it's like vultures down there. They're telling you how great you are and what you should do for them, and there's no average citizens down there. When I was down there, and this is talking about one of the persons in your district, this league, I was the only person that spoke against this when they were putting it together, and she told me, "You're not here to admonish the legislature." And I kind of said, "Well, I kind of am." But that's right. It's who you hang around, and if you're down there long enough, that's who you start talking to, and that's who you hear.
I think there's some scripture that says bad company always corrupts good character. Here's a question.
Isn't there some kind of law or rule about how many changes can be made to the Constitution in one vote? Isn't there like a limit?
You're talking about how many subjects can be in an amendment?
Yeah.
Isn't there a limit?
Only for citizens. The legislature can do as many as they want.
Okay, let's talk about some action steps of how to get this in the conversation during the election season, because the more it's talked about, the more citizens are going to get educated. So, here's one good example of how to do it. I educate the people who voted for this, the lawmakers, and I give them an out as long as that will give them an opportunity to talk about it so that they can use it as an scapegoat, but I don't care as long as it's talked about and she or he said they're against it. See what I'm saying? So I was up in Mountain Home and I talked to Charlene Fritz, great person, very conservative, vote for this. Said, Charlene, here's the deal. I'm going to help you out. Remember, when y'all passed it because you think that it's not deceptive, and it is, remember that they didn't title it during the session, so they required the Attorney General to title it, but y'all passed a bill that said he couldn't do it, so it got thrown over to the Secretary of State. Well, the Attorney General gave the Secretary of State what to put on it, but the Secretary of State put it on it. Now, doesn't that mean that when they said establishing term limits, that your intent was not to deceive? So now you can come out against it. So now you can say, I am not for deception to the voters. You see what I'm saying? So help your lawmakers out. They're a little slow. Okay, let's talk about this next race that just got done in the primary for the AG race. Okay, this girl doesn't have any history, right? But who's the guy that's on the other side? Steele? Neil? Nate? Somebody Steele?
Still.
Guess what? On our website. Look it up. He's in the house. He voted for deception and he wants to be the AG. What conversation can we have about that? When you have a meeting and you want to talk to them, you can bring the conversation up in a way of, Mr. AG, you're running to protect the citizens of this state. And you're going to protect us from being deceived, Mr. Deceiver. How do you qualify? So you can have this conversation, but if you don't bring it up, and if you don't tell your lawmakers and help them when they're just plumb stupid at times, you know, ignorance can be fixed with knowledge. Stupid is not fixed.
Any more questions? Any closing remarks, too?
No, thanks for the hospitality. I graduated in 1978 from Hendrix College, where everything west of Donaghy was a cow pasture. And it's amazing the growth here. It's always good to be back in Conway. And thank you so much for your hospitality. We desperately need your help. Thank you very much.